Moving on, let us break bread together. This is hymn 403, and this is the refrain we're looking at. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, O Lord, have mercy on me. You may not be aware, but there is something called sun worship in the Bible. It is found actually in Ezekiel. If you are interested to read, the god Tammuz was worshipped, always faced to the east, and everyone would fall down, face to the ground, worship him. In today's church, I do understand that many churches, not just the Adventist church, I have seen this in the Baptist churches, I've seen this in many other churches throughout the world, they do something called sunrise worship. Well, again, I think in some ways we are worshiping the sun when we are facing east and acknowledging that sun rules. Now this is quite interesting that this hymnal here tells us when we fall on our knees with our face to the rising sun. This is definitely the description of an act of worship, when you fall on your knees and your face is down. Very strange. Definitely not a Protestant doctrine. We Three Kings. This is a very famous hymn. Most Christian denominations actually have it in their hymnal. It is in the SDA hymnal. It is 137. Well, let's look at verse 1. We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we travel afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. What seems to be so wrong about this hymnal? What seems to be so wrong about the three kings? Well, the reality is the Bible never speaks of kings visiting Jesus, neither does it actually give us the amount of them that visited him. There were not three and there were not kings. So where did the three kings come from? It is a Catholic tradition. In the Bible you have Magi's who visit with Christ and bear gifts for him. I agree there are three gifts, but it does not mean that that there were only three Magi's who brought the three gifts. Three gifts, I agree, but not three kings. That's a Catholic theology. The first Noel, hymn 118, verse 3 and 4 in the SDA hymnal. And by the light of that same star, three wise men came from country afar, and to the earth it gave great light, and to follow the star wherever it went. This star drew nigh to the northwest, O Bethlehem. It took its rest, and there it did both stop and stay, right over the place where Jesus lay. Now, the issue with this that I have is not the three wise men, because here actually the theology or the teaching is corrected to more of a biblical stance, where there were wise men, again not three, but at least we have wise men, not kings. So what is the problem with this? Well, according to verse 4, they come and visit him where Jesus lay. Where Jesus lay, this is a reference to him being a baby just newly born. This is actually unbiblical. Most are not aware of this. In Luke, the shepherds come to visit Jesus when he's in the manger, when Jesus is laying. The Magi's, or the wise men, when they visit Jesus in Matthew chapter 2, that's where the story is recorded. In Matthew chapter 2 verse 11, the word that is used to describe Jesus, the child, is padion, which refers to someone who's walking. It's a toddler. This is why we normally assume that Jesus must have been about 2 years old, or at least a year and a half. He must have been walking. He's referred to as a young child. He's not referred to as a baby laying in a manger. Again, it is a Catholic theology and a Catholic doctrine that the Magi's, or according to them the three kings, including the shepherds, have visited Christ in the manger while he was a babe, not aware of anything. In chapter 2 of Matthew, Jesus, as a little child, is most likely aware of what is happening around him. When he was in a manger as a babe, obviously not. Again, we have an influence of a Catholic teaching and a Catholic understanding of the Bible presented in the Seventh-day Adventist hymnal. Hymn number 170, verse 3. Come, you faithful. Now the Queen of Seasons, bright with the day of splendor, with the royal feast of feasts, comes its joy to render, comes to gladden faithful hearts, which with true affection welcome in unwearying strain Jesus' resurrection. Who is this Queen of Seasons that we're talking about here? Well, according to secret societies, the Queen of Seasons, and you can actually dig this out in the Bible as well, it is Asherah. Depending on the season, she would have on a different aspect. This is what you have in Greek mythology. This is what you have in the Canaanite mythology. The Queen of Seasons represents a false goddess of fertility in essence. And yet we are putting that in the hymnal in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And of course, it refers to with the royal feast of feasts. What is this royal feast of feasts reference to? If you do not know, this is Easter. Why are we celebrating Easter? Easter has nothing to do with Christ. Easter has everything to do with fertility. This is why you have eggs. This is why you have egg hunts. This is why you paint them. That's because Diana landed, according to mythologies, in the river in an egg, and she broke through the egg. And of course, this is the month of fertility, month of production. And here she's referred to as the Queen of Seasons. This is not worship of Jesus. This is not praise to Christ for what he has done. This is a praise to a false goddess.